Let's bring in our legal guys. Avery Friedman, a civil rights attorney and law professor in Cleveland. Good to see you.
Hi, Fredricka.
And Richard Herman, a New York criminal defense attorney and law professor, joining us from Vegas, Las Vegas. Good to see you as well.
Hi, Fred.
All right, gentlemen, we're in the final stretch of this Conrad Murray case. Tuesday sentencing, he could get probation or he could get a maximum of 4 years in prison. But we also know the situation with overcrowding in many California prisons, Avery. So what are the chances of his sentencing in your view?
Well, right in between what you just said, it's never going to be probation, Fredricka. It cannot happen. He's looking at the max. That's 4 years. However, the General Assembly, the state legislature in California, changed that. And they've come up with something called realignment, which means 4 years equals 2 years, and discretion is given to the local sheriff. That means it goes to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. So, frankly, the bottom line is you're probably sometime less than 2 years, maybe not even 1 year.
How do you see it, Richard?
Fred, I think that he's going to get house arrest, house home confinement with a bracelet. That's what's going to happen to him. He's absolutely eligible for that. Because the law in California is this: once he gets sent to county prison, he's got a 2-year sentence there. But since he has no prior criminal history, and the only crime that he's committed now is not, quote, a violent crime, even though it was manslaughter, it's deemed not violent, he is entitled and should have house confinement.
Interesting.
So if he doesn't get house confinement, it's corrupt. So he needs to have house confinement, but moreover, the prosecution's going to ask for $100 million in lost profit against a judgment against Conrad Murray to be paid to the children of Michael Jackson for the death of the father.
So, Avery, you're in agreement with that, the $100 million, but you were in disagreement totally of everything else, house confinement, etc.
Well, you know, all the prosecution has left here is the restitution issue. That's $100 million bucks. And they're going to make that a condition of substantial release, which is what Richard's talking about. I think he's got to do some jail time. I mean, they're going to argue the defense's bottom line background, but I think really he's got to do some time.
So will this be the type of sentencing where we will hear testimony one more time, Richard?
Yeah, you may hear from members of the family may get up there and cry to the judge and talk about Michael's life and everything. But the defense is going to say, Fred, listen, this man lost his career. He lost his profession. He's hated. He's getting death threats. He's suffered. He's suffered immeasurably. Judge, just send him home, monitor him, and that's it. Enough is enough.
Interesting. All right, let's move on to the case in Aruba. Gary Giordano, he has been the only suspect in the disappearance of Robin Gardner, a Maryland woman. And now, apparently, Aruban authorities are saying after 4 months, he's been in prison, been questioned, they've been investigating. He is likely to be returning back to the U.S. Under what conditions now, Richard?
Home for the holidays, Fred. That's it. It's over.
Yeah.
He's done. They have nothing.
Case closed, it's over?
They can't put the case together. There's no body. They can't find no DNA, no nothing. So they're sending him home. But moreover, he is subject to extradition if they come up with something down the road, which, you know, they're not going to. But worse off, Fred, he took out a life insurance policy. I think he's going to collect on it.
Will he be able to collect on that, Avery?
I know. You know what? You know what? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Look, I think the insurance company knows exactly what went on. Yeah. I don't think he's going to collect on it.
Well, they ought to come down there and testify.
Part of the evidence that goes to intent. Well, fine. What are they going to? Yeah, is he going to testify about what he did and what happened? It's never going to happen. I think the insurance company is going to contest it. I think it's part of the evidence here. The problem here, if you remember, is that Aruban authorities decided, you know what, maybe we better take this seriously. And about 2.5 months after the disappearance, they brought in cadaver dogs. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just a ridiculous way of handling it. It's going to be difficult, but I wouldn't say it's over. I would not say it's over.
You're thinking reminiscent of that case,
Holloway's a very good example.
Apparently, Giordano was in jail 4 months. He cried. And next thing you know, he's now being released. However, Aruban authorities, will they abandon ship on investigations? Will they continue to investigate if they come across anything? Extradition between it and U.S. fairly strong?
How do you know he cried, Fred?
Reportedly, he cried.
Second of all,
what was that?
Who wouldn't?
Well, because she feels bad for him. That's why.
He's got Fred. If they come up with something, the United States will honor. I'm sorry. The United States will honor extradition if they come up with something.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
If he comes back.
Yeah. Let's move on to another case.
If he comes back.
Yeah. If big old if. Huh? Oh, you think flight risk? He's going to go somewhere else. That's what you're implying, aren't you?
Sure he is.
Please.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to another
policy.
Yeah, let's move on to another case that's taking place not that long ago when everyone watched in horror the stage of Sugarland collapse. 7 people were killed. Many people others were injured. And now we have the case of 40 or so people, Avery, who are suing the music group Sugarland at this Indianapolis site. They're not necessarily going after the organizers of the stage, those who put it up, but they're going after the music group. Why?
Doesn't make any sense. They should be going after the promoters, the venue. Now, I mean, the question really is legally, I mean, should Sugarland, did they know or should they have known about the likelihood of the stage collapsing? There's absolutely no foreseeability. There's no liability. I think they were brought in as a necessary party. At least that was the thinking. But I think ultimately it's the owners of the venue and the promoters that are on the line, not
Is
Sugarland.
that likely, Richard, because they have the deeper bank account, presumably?
He's wrong. He's wrong, Fred. There was a provision in the contract that said Sugarland had the final call whether or not to put on the show or not due to weather. And Sugarland ignored all the weather reports and said, yes, put the show on. 60-mile-an-hour gust, crash stage. I think Sugarland is liable. They're liable here. They're going to get hit hard.
So Sugarland should have been the one to say, cancel the show. You know, this is not safe. We can't proceed any further, and they would be the ones held culpable here.
How in the world
they insisted on that?
Prove that is monumental. No way.
Okay.
There's no way.
Gonna look all the weather forecasts. That's how.
We'll see.
Interesting. All right. Well, we know that
they're not experts on stage construction.
Okay, well, we know this is just the beginning stages of that case. Something tells me we'll be talking about that one again. I know we're going to be talking about a couple others coming up in about 20 minutes. Richard and Avery, we're going to talk about a teacher who her school in California has investigated for allegedly running a porn website from her school-issued laptop. We know you all have a lot to say about that.